now we get the definite final battle this week.
Final battle.
Definitely happening.
Yep. Definitely the final battle between multiple people here. Definitively.
What a dumb title for this episode.
It's such a terrible title. Like nothing
uh,
about it is accurate at all. I mean,
no.
there was somewhat of a battle, but even then, not really.
No.
Um, Sesshomaru and Inuyasha are both there, but like
True.
that's about it.
That's about it. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Jared Now Watching Inuyasha, is episode 159. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Cow and Lady
Hello.
We are discussing Season 6, Episode 18, or Episode 156, entitled Final Battle at the Graveside, Sesshomaru versus Inuyasha, which does not happen, except for like one blow.
Ignore all that title.
Yeah, just ignore that. Don't worry about that. I was curious because obviously we are getting towards the end of the original series.
We are.
We got, I think, like 11 episodes left after this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, like, okay, so obviously we're about to shut things down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious of like, okay, so obviously the reason they are probably shutting things down is that they are catching up to the manga too quickly. That's usually the thing that happens with long-running series, is that, you know, if you're doing it weekly for years on end, you're going to eventually catch up, and then you got to take a break, or you just got to start making new stuff, you know, one or the other. That's the choice you make. They obviously decide, hey, we're going to shut it down and then do a new series, obviously years later type deal. So I was wondering, like, how far away are they from the manga, essentially?
Mm-hmm.
So this episode airs on June 14th of 2004. The manga chapters that this comes from, the volume was released on December 23rd, 2003. So we're about 6 months between volume release. If you take that with regards to like where it is from release, like the actual chapter release, it's probably another like maybe like at minimum 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we are caught up, essentially. We are catching up too fast.
Yep.
So it makes sense why we were about to shut down. But then also the weird thing is that, like, if you look at the manga like chapters and everything, after this, like where this episode is and where we'll get to the end, there's like 200 more chapters of the manga, and it's like, how are we going to? I'm very curious to see how they decide to
speed run
do all that with 11 episodes of this, and we know we're gonna have some filler here, and then the 24 episode final act, or however many episodes it's. But it's like just like a, you know, a season essentially. It's not like super long like this is. So
right.
That's a lot of material to cram into like 37 episodes essentially, or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. I was expecting when we got here, like, or like when I would look through the manga chapters, it'd be like, oh, there's like 100 left, maybe, if that. It's like, no, there's double that essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting. But either way, let's get into this week's episode where, I don't know, some stuff happens. Yeah. Naraku gets the shard from Hosenki.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because he's just like, haha, you weakened him, so now I can come and take it. Haha, my plan worked. I'm gonna get it. Blah, 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 blah. Yum, 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 yum. Inuyasha got knocked
weird
down.
Little thingies.
This weird little thingies. Inuyasha got knocked down to the bottom of the graveside. Just kind of comes back. Kagura takes Sesshomaru and Jokin to that one pathway we saw some episodes ago, where Inuyasha tried to get to this area but failed.
The statues.
And the statues, yes. And essentially Kagura's like, well, I know he's going to fail, so, you know, that's the thing. So anyways, can't wait to watch this happen. But then Sesshomaru is able to find a way through, because he's Sesshomaru, and he's also like, he tries to attack them with his one sword, and it doesn't work, and then he pulls out the Tenseiga, and they're like, oh, boy, well, hang on a second.
Sorry, dude.
That's the sword of the netherworld. Oh, you may go on through, my good sir.
They even like kneel down before him.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
And then Sesshomaru's just like, oh, I guess you guys do want to fight a futile battle. How admirable of you. I guess I'll make my way through now.
Doody.
And Kagura's the whole time just like, the heck just happened? What? So yeah, that's how he gets in there. Inuyasha just tries to fight Naraku again and just fails miserably, because he just does the same attacks he's been doing, and the red Tenseiga has been nerfed again, because why bother having powered up weapons when we can just be like, just kidding, this barrier doesn't work on. Hey.
The Red Tetsaiga got the same treatment as Moroku's wind tunnel.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're like, by the way, this is too powerful. We have to immediately make it so that it's useless.
God, so like obviously this happens and Inuyasha gets flung into his dad and just like where Hosenki is as well. And Moroku is like all right, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do the wind tunnel. And then immediately Naraku's like, you want some bees? And it's like, oh, come on, dude. What are we doing here?
Immediately with the bees.
Poor guy.
He tries so hard. He just wants to be useful, and it's not happening.
No. So yeah, that happens. Everyone's just like, oh man, Naraku's got all the jewels now. This is a bad thing. And then you see a green light show up in the background and just comes and just bonks Naraku right in the barrier, and everyone's like, what the heck was that? And here comes Sesshomaru, and he's just like, do 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 do.
Goes past Naraku.
Yeah, everyone's like, what are you doing here? And he goes past Naraku, looks up at his dad, looks down at Inuyasha, goes down to Inuyasha, and then just punches him in the face for no reason.
Yeah.
So funny.
Well, the whole thing is that Naraku's like, oh, look, what a good big brother. You came to come help your little brother. That's so nice of you. And he's just like, I'm going to go down there and slug this guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? You suck for like sullying dad anyway.
It's so funny because it's just so out of pocket.
So out of pocket. It's so petty.
He shows up, punches Inuyasha, and calls him a and then he flies back over to Naraku and is like, also you're a as well.
Yeah. It's so funny. Also, he just leaves Jockin behind.
Yeah, because Jockin the whole time is just like hanging on to his like fur. And then as soon as he goes to fight Naraku, Jockin's like, what? Flung away. And then also Hosenki's like, hey boy, you got the will to fight still. And then the Naraku and Sesshomaru just stare each other down. That's how we end this episode. Which, again, no final battle. No Sesshomaru versus Inuyasha at all in this.
Nope.
Whatsoever. Like, what are we doing with this title?
I don't know, but the punch was the best part of it.
The punch was so funny.
It was so funny.
That's how we end this episode. We have some notes.
Ooh,
here.
notes. Love it.
Although this episode is named Sesshomaru vs. Inuyasha, their only confrontation appears to be a punch in the face. It is possible the title is intended to reflect their respective confrontations against Naraku and his conflicting attitude towards the two brothers' abilities. I don't think that's true. There. That's
some stretching.
That is a little bit of a stretch.
But also they didn't call out the final battle thing either, so
no.
Come on, notes. What are you doing?
And also there was a shot in the cave where Sesshomaru erroneously has normal nails instead of claws.
Oh no.
Maybe he
went to a spa.
A manicure, earlier in the day, and his nails were just like real nice that day.
Yeah. It's possible. We never know.
So that's going to do it for this week. Next time, we'll be discussing episode 157 entitled Destroy Naraku with the Adamant Barrage.
I guess diamonds are going to get thrown.
Yeah, and Inuyasha's going to get some help with some diamonds, and Naraku and Sesshomaru are going to square off with each other. And the best part of the preview is Naraku's like, haha, my miasma will spread everywhere and kill everyone if you don't stop me. And Sesshomaru's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
duh. Okay.
Big deal. I don't care.
I got other problems.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that next time. But for now, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup OVA. Also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky at seasonlanguagecheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. So join us next time as we see Sesshomaru and Naraku square up.